About 90% of U.S. adult citizens are eligible for the $1,200 stimulus check payment. However, only about 80 million of the total 150 million eligible Americans have actually received their payment yet. So I did some major digging on all the reasons as to why you may not have received your payment yet and what you might be able to do. If you haven't yet received it, it's not necessarily a lost cause. One of these following reasons could be why, and there may be something you can do about it. And before I get into it, if you would please click the like button. This helps out the YouTube algorithm, helps me out, spreads this video to a wider audience. That's my quick pitch. Let's get right into it. So let's start with some basic qualifiers here on who is eligible for the stimulus. And I'm just gonna set the stage, so if you already know this information, just go ahead and skip ahead a minute. I'm not here to waste anyone's time. You know, after about a minute, I'll be done with these basic qualifiers. So to qualify for the full stimulus check amount, you must have an adjusted gross income of under $75,000 for single filers, $112,500 for head of household filers, and $150,000 for joint filers. If your adjusted gross income is higher than these thresholds, you'll receive $5 less for every $100 you make above those thresholds. You must also be a U.S. citizen or a U.S. resident and have a Social Security number. Finally, you cannot be claimed as a dependent on anyone else's taxes. Most people are already aware of these stipulations, but I just wanted to set some ground rules before we move on to the more nuanced situations. Now, the number one issue that most people are facing is some form of a technical glitch, as they're saying. There's several glitches that seem to be happening all at the same time, so I'm going to break down the different ones that I've found, the most common ones at least, and then go into detail on each. The first one is the payment status not available error that many people are receiving on the Check My Payments portal on the IRS website. If you're receiving this message, it's more than likely one of these issues. You are on SSA, RRB, SSI, or VA benefits, and your information simply is not yet available. If you're on one of those benefit programs, you won't be able to find it on that portal. You may also get this message if you recently filed through the IRS non-filers portal. It might just not be updated on this new portal. I know it's frustrating, that's not a great answer, but this is directly from the IRS. And note, do not fill out the non-filers tool if you're on SSI, because if you're on SSI, you will receive that payment automatically. However, if you do have a dependent and you're on SSI, you must fill out that non-filers tool in order to receive the $500 per dependent additional payment through this stimulus. So only if you have a dependent, go on the non-filers tool if you're on SSI. Any other reason, don't fill it out. Of course, if you are a non-filer, then also fill it out. Some taxpayers not on SSI have also reported that either their payment amount was wrong or there was a missing dependent on their actual stimulus payment once they received it. If this is the case, within 15 days, the IRS is going to send a letter to everyone who received a stimulus payment, and there's going to be information on that letter regarding how you can contact the IRS to correct this information. So that money is not necessarily lost. So that's really good news as of literally today. So moving on, the next glitch, you could be one of the 21 million Americans potentially impacted who filed taxes through services like H&R Block or TurboTax, and you didn't receive your payment. The IRS is claiming this is some kind of system glitch as well. There's not really a whole lot of information on this. The only thing I found is that they're currently working on it, but if you file taxes through one of those services and have not received your stimulus, you're probably lumped into one of those 21 million Americans. That's a massive number. Another reason could be your funds are set to be sent to the wrong bank account. Many people have tried using the Track My Stimulus tool only to find that the funds are deposited into an incorrect or closed account. An IRS spokeswoman by the name of Jody Reynolds told the New York Post that if this happens, the money should be rejected by the bank it was sent to and sent back to the IRS. And if this does happen, the IRS isn't just going to keep that return payment and not send it to you. The IRS will then turn around and cut you a paper check. Up until just recently, that was really unfortunate because it was looking like it'd probably be potentially months before you actually received a paper check, up to like 5 or 6 months. But as of yesterday, there was an announcement here. There's a silver lining. The IRS announced that they are actually ahead of schedule on sending the paper checks out, and will begin sending them out the week of the 20th at a rate of around 5 million checks per week. And that brings me to my next point, that you may not have received your stimulus check yet simply because you're set to receive a paper check. You might not even know. More and more reports are coming in of people stating that they needed to add payment information despite filing taxes electronically. A few reasons as to why this might have happened are you owed taxes in 2018 or 2019, you may have to add bank information in the Get My Payment tool on the IRS website. This is because the IRS likely does not have your deposit information. If you change banks recently, you'll have to update your information on the Get My Payment tool. Even if you change banks within like the last 2 years, I would say double check on that Get My Payment tool just to be 100% sure. Even if none of these apply to you, I would still just triple check on that Get My Payment tool. I know that that system isn't the greatest system, but it's kind of all we have right now. We got to work with what we have. I know I have a friend of mine who was set to receive a payment electronically, went and checked, and there was no bank there. He added his, got his stimulus payment the exact same day. On to the next reason why you may not have received your stimulus check yet. You simply may not have filed a tax return yet. If you're one of the people who's set to automatically receive a stimulus payment, which is someone on SSI or SSDI, you don't have to file anything. But any other non-filers have to use the non-filer tool, or if you are typically a filer, the safest bet is to file for 2019 taxes if you have not yet done so. Another reason could be is if you recently filed a tax return, especially a paper tax return. If you sent in a paper tax return, there's a decent chance that it's still getting processed in order to send that check. This may also be the case if you file electronically, but it's not as likely because that process is more streamlined. However, if that is the case, really all you can do at this point is just wait. As crappy as that answer is, you can't really speed up the IRS's processing time in this situation. Another reason could be if you were on SSI or SSDI, your payment probably hasn't been sent out yet. This is probably the #1 question that I get, and I maybe just have to make an entire video just on this because I seriously get hundreds of these comments on every video. These payments are set to begin rolling out the week of the 20th and can go through early May for all SSI, SSDI recipients. There may be a few other select groups that are part of that, but this group for sure is set to start next week. Now there may be select people who have received it early, but they aren't set to receive it yet. That's really important. Let's also debunk a couple myths while we're at it. If you owe the IRS money, you will still qualify for the stimulus package. The stimulus check is not an advance on your 2020 taxes. I got this question so many times over the course of like the last 5 days. There must be someone out there putting out misinformation on that, which is a little bit disappointing, but no, the stimulus check is not an advance on your 2020 taxes. The stimulus check is also not taxed, which makes perfect sense. You know, why would they tax something that's supposed to be, you know, a stimulus benefit? If they were to do that, they would just give you a smaller stimulus. The whole point is to, you know, put money into the economy, have people spend it, get things, you know, moving and shaking a little bit quicker. Another reason your stimulus may not be in your account yet is it could have gone to a temporary account by whoever set up your taxes. So this one is really interesting. Sometimes tax preparers set up a temporary account where your tax refund goes first, and then they take out their fees for doing the service and then send you the remaining amount. If this is the case for you, there's a decent chance that your stimulus check either was sent to that temporary account or attempted to be sent to that temporary account and sent back to the IRS. There's no exact indication on if it was sent to that temporary account and sent back what exactly is going to happen, but I would say it's probably safe to assume that those people will be lumped in with that same group of people who had the bank account information that was incorrect and then will receive a paper check. As of right now, there's no way to change the bank account of a payment that says it's already sent, and that's why they're saying you could have to wait to get a paper check, which will be starting next week, the week of the 20th. The last reason is you could be a victim of fraud. The IRS is reporting, they specifically did a bulletin on this the other day and last week because this is just rampant right now. The IRS is reporting that scammers are making fake portals that look like the Get My Payment portal in order to collect stimulus payment, bank account information, social security numbers with the intention of stealing either the stimulus check payment from people or personal information from people. Ensure that you only enter your information on legitimate irs.gov websites. Make sure it's only .gov, no additional letters or numbers or anything like that, just .gov. Don't enter it in any other website. The IRS isn't going to reach out to you and ask for information. There's no other portals. There's no way to make it go quicker as of right now. So really the biggest thing is just being patient and just being safe. I would hate to see someone get their payment taken from them from some scammer trying to prey on, you know, someone who's looking for some relief right now. it just bothers me anyways. I'm curious to see if you guys know of any other reasons why people might not have received their stimulus checks yet. If you know of a reason, please comment it down below and share the knowledge that you have. And if after watching this entire video, you're sitting there thinking, hey, that Max guy, he isn't half bad, it would mean the world to me if you would consider subscribing, and let me know below in the comments if you do so. Until next time, I hope you have a profitable day.